Why does it keep... Oh, I think you've got my phone on the volume button. Oh, I take a screenshot, that's okay. If you're sure, because it's like right at the top of my head. Well, if I scoot in, it cuts it off even more. Yeah, that's better. There's a little bit of a... well, I think it's just because I need to wipe my camera off. Yeah. Yeah. Can you give me something to wipe it off with? Just a kitchen towel or something. And my pear when you get a chance. Thank you. Hang on, guys. I'm gonna wipe my phone camera off. It must be just a little bit. Okay, that's fine. Now, if I can get it to...
That's good.
Okay. I'm waiting to see who's gonna comment first. Because I didn't wipe it off yet. Oh, you gave me a... Well, no, that's better. See? Hope everybody's doing well tonight as we start to filter in here. The only thing, I'm gonna move my laptop just a little bit. Maybe here in a minute, yeah. What's up?
The lighting's pretty good.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, if we ever... Oh, that one. I thought you meant my other one. All right. Well, I was getting set up for my live stream, and I was looking at one of my palms, and I realized that it has mealybugs on it, of all things. Like, I think I've had more problems with mealybugs than I've ever had with spider mites or anything else. I don't know why. To me, spider mites are really easy to get rid of. Like, you just hose the plant down, maybe you have a little bit of a mild insecticide, but mealybugs, I don't know, they just seem insidious somehow. But this is the first time I've had them on a palm. Normally I get them on cacti or succulents, and I didn't even know that they had a taste for cacti and succulents until I think it's an astrophytum, and it just, they just like getting in the crevices and stuff, so.
Did you call your jury thing?
Yeah, no, I told you I don't have it.
You don't have it?
No, they canceled it.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Okay.
thank goodness. Hello, Leaf Year. Leaf Year is number 1. I hope you're doing well. It's good to see you here. Did I get all of that? I mean, I wiped it off pretty well, but I thought I saw one more mealybug someplace. It's probably time just to hose this thing off. I'm doing well. I haven't done a whole lot today since it was my day off, which is okay. Sometimes I feel like I have things that I start to do, and then I get like the first step done, and then I have a stopping point. Like I can't go any further. So that's kind of, I have a lot of incomplete tasks that I was doing today, but it's okay. Wes says the music is still a little too loud. Hi, Dragonite. Um, I talked you into durian today, yeah. Was that last time that we tried the freeze-dried one? Because it was not good. It was like eating freeze-dried ramen. So if anybody ever tries freeze-dried durian, let me know what you think of it. It was not very good. But in the spirit of continuing this little trend that we've been doing, I bought one of these at the store today. And I don't know, I feel like Dragonite is my produce expert. What is this, Dragonite? And actually, if you don't know, it's okay because I asked the guy that works in the produce department and he didn't know either. Um, yeah, it does actually look a lot like an apple, but and I haven't done any research on it yet. We'll do the research on it before we pop it open, but it's actually a Korean pear, is what the price came up as, like when you type it in. Um, so yeah, I don't know if it's related to an apple. I mean, it does have the same shape. It probably is a palm. But the funny thing is, the guy that worked in the produce department, he was from Asian, like one of the Southeast Asian countries, and I was trying to guess which one he was from, and I think I named every single one except the one he was from, which was Burma. So I guess that's why he didn't know, because this is from Korea, I guess. But yeah, I don't know. Never had one. Never even knew it existed. So I just wonder if it's going to be more pear-like or apple-like. I guess we'll find out. I don't know if I've ever had persimmon either, which is interesting because in our first house, the neighbor had a persimmon tree. And I feel like we picked them one time, but I think we waited too long to eat them. Asian pears and are much more pear-like. That's interesting. I mean, it's kind of the color of a pear. It just is shaped like an apple. So it looks like Wes looked it up. A Korean pear is a type of Asian pear scientifically known as Pyrus pyrifolia that is prized for its crisp, juicy, and sweet flesh and is often large and round like an apple. I wonder what it's related to, if it's in like a certain family, like the apples. I don't know what family the apple tree's in though. Dragonite's telling us a story. Oh, that's kind of crazy. Let me turn this down a little bit more. It's on 10 now, just for future reference. But like the fruit, the fruit doesn't have like spikes in it though, right? Like you can pick it off the tree and it's just ready to go. I didn't know if you had to like peel it or something first. I've never had one. I've definitely never seen one growing. Oh, okay. That's one of those. That's one of those interesting things where you see so many pictures of certain things, and then if you're lucky enough to like actually see it in real life, it's almost surreal. Like, oh wow, there's a prickly pear cactus and it has fruit on it, and you can just go pick it. Like, what? That's bizarre. Yeah, that wouldn't have been, the story wouldn't have been as good if you would have gotten a mouthful of neat spines. But I don't know, maybe the story would have been better. As generic as this sounds, like, I think it would be really cool to go actually pick like an orange from a tree. Um, I know that sounds basic, but like we don't have orange trees up here, obviously. And just the idea of something that you've seen so many times in grocery stores and eaten and everything, getting to pick it from its natural, like actual source is, I don't know, there's an appeal in that somehow. Yeah, that's. They didn't have any dragon fruit at the grocery store I went to because I was thinking about that. I was walking through the produce section, and that's when I remembered. I'm like, I have a live stream tonight. So I just. This is about the only weird thing I saw. But persimmons must be perfectly ripe, but they're extremely bitter and weird. Uh, Leaf here, do you know how to tell if a persimmon is ripe? I actually don't know. And if I see any someplace, I'll grab one because, like I said, I don't think I've eaten one before. I mean, I've heard of like persimmon pudding, but um, yeah. Oh, well, yeah. It's interesting that you can go by smell for a lot of things. Like pineapple. Oh, I think I want some fresh pineapple. I love when it starts to get yellow because it's nice and ripe and you can kind of squeeze it, and it's got a little bit of give and you smell it and it smells so fruity and tropical. It just made my mouth water. Thank you, bromeliads. Ooh, I do have a new plant to show you guys that I got. Um, it's not, well, of course, Christian's not here to see it because I think he would be happy, but I did. If you guys don't always look at my comments, I actually did go through my comments before I got on, and Christian commented and said that he is like having internet like issues right now, so that's why he hasn't been showing up. But yeah, I'm sure he'll be back soon. Hopefully to see that the funeral drapes are gone. We need to make what we need to do is make like a wish list. I don't know how we I have no idea how we segued into fruit so much recently in my live streams, but um, we need to make a list of like ones that would be good ones for me to look for. Um, Not that I would necessarily find them all like out, at stores and stuff, but persimmon could be on there. Star fruit would be good. Oh yeah, Dragonite. I know what you're talking about. They do kind of look like that. Um, if you could somehow get it to light up or spray water, have you seen the ones where you like fill them with water and you chuck it and it sprays water everywhere? Yeah, yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I feel like it's aerodynamic enough that you could do something like that. Oh, and Leaf Year, when I got on, I saw that Growfolds was doing a live. I think that they're doing like an unboxing. I figured you might be watching that too because I know that you watch Growfolds, but I just never really got into buying plants online like that. And I think it's not that I think there's anything wrong with it. It's I've bought I think two plants online, and it was fine. I think I just prefer finding them myself, being able to like choose between certain ones. I don't know that I just it's kind of like buying clothes. You know, it's I feel like it's better to try clothes on first, but yeah, I mean seeds is totally different. Like you know, you can just buy a packet or whatever. Um, I don't know. I don't know if you guys remember last week we were talking about like animals and stuff, but I was thinking about you guys. Let me see if I can get them out here. Oh, I actually got I got one of my roaches out. So, um, they're pretty chill. If you guys ever want like an insect pet that you don't have to do a lot with, they're pretty chill. I don't know if you guys can hear them hissing a little bit when I touch him. He's kind of a grumpy boy. Oh, you don't gotta be so grumpy, buddy. You don't gotta be so grumpy. There. Yeah. They calm down. Like they'll calm down after you hold them, but just initially, the hissing isn't from like glands or anything. They actually push air out the sides of their exoskeleton, and it kind of creates this effect of a hiss, but it's not the same hiss as like a snake or a cat or anything. And it's just a kind of a defense mechanism. But I'm not gonna eat you. Don't worry. Yeah. I'm getting the hint that Leaf here does not like bugs. What is the matter, Mr. Grumpy? And you can actually tell it's a male. I don't know if you guys will be able to see, but he has a couple of protrusions on his head there. You can kind of see it there on the profile. Um, and the males kind of use those. They can use them in combat because like the males fight each other, but yeah. Yeah. Oh. Why is my why is my signal degrading? There we go. Dragonite, yeah. Well, no, hang on. We can think of a good invertebrate that's not scary like a roach. What about snails? If you have an aquarium, get a snail. See, getting him off my hand is a little tricky because oh. It looks like he lost a bit of one of his antenna because I have another male in there, and they don't get along. I didn't realize that they actually don't get along until I heard them wrestling around in here one day, and I'm like, geez Louise, man. Yeah. All right, big boy, I'm gonna put you back. Yeah, I'm gonna put you back. Since you're being all grumpy, aren't you? Yes, you are. Okay, put you back in here. Perfect. Leaf here is like, nope, she's not having any of that. What? Oh. Um, yeah, like, if we're talking about like aquatic invertebrates, I mean, snails are the obvious one, but I mean, there's like shrimp, and you know, if you have a saltwater tank, you could do like, you could even do like urchins, starfish. Somebody, Dragonite, you might have to look it up, but I know that starfish are in the phylum Echinodermata, but I can't remember if sea urchins are in that same phylum because I thought starfish and sea urchins were related, or sea stars, I guess, because they're not fish. But yeah, sea urchins I think are really cool. I mean, to think that that thing is like alive, I don't know, it's bizarre. But I wish saltwater tanks were a little easier to take care of because I would probably have one, but they do require a fair amount of maintenance. Okay, Dragonite confirmed. They are echinoderms. Well, Echinodermata only has a couple of different, like, lower classifications. And it's been a while since I looked at the chart, but there's not that many different ones. So, I mean, yeah, they're as closely related, I guess, as we are to, birds and things like that, probably. We're all in animal, or I'm sorry, in uh, mammalia, but yeah. Cool. Yeah, and leaf year, it's pretty cool too. When you have a snail, and sometimes they'll go to the top of the water line and they'll extend out that little hose. I don't actually know what the hose is. I know that I'm pretty sure it has something to do with air intake, but like, I don't know, where do they even store that thing that it comes out like that? Also, I saw a great meme about insects and like crustaceans, and it's talking about how crustaceans are just kind of water bugs and they're a delicacy. We consider crab and lobster and things delicacies, but they're just they're kind of like water insects basically. But we're grossed out by the idea of eating insects. Um, which I am too. I'm not I'm not throwing shade at people that don't want to eat bugs because I don't either, but um, they're supposed to be a pretty good source of nutrients and they're obviously very sustainable because of how easily you can produce them. Thank you, Leaf. We're just kind of trying out different views and things. Um, you guys can probably kind of put together the layout of my room, my living room at this point. But I have most of my regular like tropicals here, and my bigger ones are just kind of spread throughout. I've got there's my dart form syndapsis back there, and then there's my variegated Ficus benjamina. But off, like on this wall that I'm pointing at, off to the left or right here, that's where my succulents are. And I don't need to keep them separate. It's not like you have to keep them separate, but I just do because I think that they look better kind of grouped together like that. And in the wintertime, I like to put my humidifiers just in this one area. And since succulents don't need humidity, really, it just saves me time. But the thing is, I put my citrus trees over there so that they get plenty of light. And I'm wondering if I shouldn't put a humidifier over there for the winter time, for when the air gets really dry. I'll have to think about that. Uh, Dragonite, I think that I've heard that they do fry them, and I've heard that they taste fine, like that they don't taste bad, but it's just the mental idea of getting past the fact that it is a bug. Like, are grasshoppers true bugs? I think they are. Um, yeah, that would be tough. It's just like I don't eat meat, so it's really hard for me to get past the idea of eating something that was, alive, like that bleeds and stuff. Because chicken, for instance, I don't hate the taste of chicken. I don't really hate the taste of like ham either, especially if it's like honey ham, like shaved really thin on a cracker with like some sharp cheddar. Oof, so good. But it's just mentally, it's hard for me to get past the idea that it's a pig. Oh, wow, okay. So then what meat do you actually eat? Oh, okay. I never got into beef, really. I don't know. I do love the smell of steak fajitas, and we actually had Mexican food tonight. It was really good, but just somebody got the skillet of like steak fajitas, and it's amazing. Also, you can probably see right about here. That's my keyboard. I don't have an actual piano right now just because they're super heavy. But I kind of rearranged in here recently, and now my keyboard's behind the couch so that I can kind of play it a little easier. Yeah, and that's the thing about fungus gnats is they slip in there without you realizing. So you probably have eaten some. And then when you think about if you've ever eaten a fig, you know, figs are usually pollinated by wasps, but then like the wasp crawls up in there and it dies because it can't get back out. So I mean, when you eat a fig, micro dosing on insects, yes. Yeah, it's weird. Like it's a little unnerving. I've never eaten a fig. We can add that to the list because figs, of course, are from Ficus carica, which is, you know, ficus, just like any of the ones we have as houseplants. But Ficus carica just doesn't make a good houseplant because it needs a lot of light. But I would like to try one. The thing, the thing is, the thing that you have to like reassure yourself with is that yes, the wasp crawls up in there and dies, but like it it's not like there's a wasp carcass in there when you cut it open. Like it just sort of gets absorbed into it. Like it's not, you know what I mean? Like I don't know. It's hard to describe. Like it'd be like what if you opened up a box of crackers or something and there's a dead mouse in there? Like what the heck? What's your problem with eating figs, Dragonite? See, I would love that. I would love to taste a fresh one. I think that would be such a cool experience. Um, you can grow them here, I think. Like I've seen them sold here, but I just don't know how well they would do here, like in the central U.S. But just because it gets so cold, that's always the problem with trying to grow stuff is the how cold the temperature gets. Um, Fig Newtons are good. I like those. Well, they're okay. I don't love them. It's very loud for you. Yes, exactly, Dragonite. That's the problem I'm having right now with my citrus trees, is that it's starting to cool off at night enough that I don't feel comfortable leaving them outside. And my lemon tree has 3 lemons on it, and they're still green. And I'm like, time's running out, lemon tree. You need to make those suckers ripe so that we can pluck them. But my blood orange tree actually did really well outside. It grew quite a bit. It just didn't produce any flowers. I'll grab it. I can grab it here in a minute. I think we're getting to the point where we're gonna cut this sucker open here in a few minutes. I'm excited. I'm kind of hungry. I hope that it has as much of a nice flavor as people say it does. It doesn't smell like anything, but let me grab my lemon tree. It's just right over there. Okay. So we have one little lemon there, and we have another lemon right up there, and then we have a third one hanging out right there. And it actually has another flower on it coming in right there. But oh. Here's hoping that they turn yellow soon. I mean, how big is a Meyer lemon? Like, they're not even that big, right? Like, those look like they're getting close to being full size. So I can't imagine that it's gonna take much longer for those suckers to ripen, but I don't know. We'll see. I have another grow light, like a spotlight grow light, and the one I'm using right now was actually really good for the plants I had over there all season, and they had a lot of growth on them. So I'm gonna bring the other one in and focus it on these citrus trees so that they're getting just a ton of light, because, well, for one thing, citrus trees already take like full sun anyway, but when they're producing fruit, they need even more energy, so they need more light. But my this lemon tree is in I think it's in a 10-inch pot, and it's probably about a foot tall. Like, I can just hold it so you can kind of get a size comparison. That's about how big it is. It's just a little top heavy right now with these fruit on it. Oh. The only thing about the lemon tree is that, you know, it's not like you can eat the lemon, obviously, but you know, it's not a very pleasant experience. That's why I bought the blood orange too, because I thought, well, if I can ever get that thing to produce, that would be cool, because you can actually just eat the fruit that you just picked, which is kind of the point, right? But if the lemons do ripen in time, I'll make some lemonade or something. Or I'll have some fresh lemon wedge with water. Leaf, was it you? I think it was Leafier that said that you really liked my bottle palm, and actually I'm surprised that it's doing so well. It's just, I don't know, I've just left it in front of the window and been trying to keep it watered. It actually is dry right now, so I probably need to water soon. But palms like this make me a little nervous, the ones that don't produce fronds. Well, we're calling them fronds, but they're leaves. But like, when they don't produce fronds as consistently as like Chamaedorea does, it sucks when you lose one because it takes so long to replace it. But oh wow, okay. 5 feet tall, that's crazy. I feel like we talked about that because you were telling me about that. Fruit plants usually take a while to get to fruit mature, perhaps a few years. Oh, I see. Like, you mean like it takes them a while to get to the point where they start producing fruit? Yes. And that's where I think my blood orange is right now. It's just not old enough. even though it is quite a bit taller than this lemon tree. Let me get the blood orange. I'll show you guys what I mean. Okay. Just for a little size comparison, here is how tall it is. So it actually grew quite a bit during the season. When I originally bought it, it was probably about right here. So it did put off a lot of new growth this year. And like I said, it didn't produce any flowers, but the vigorous amount of growth is promising. If I can just get it to survive the winter, I'm excited to get it back outside next year, hopefully. But yeah, it looks. I think other than a couple of leaves that got attacked by insects, it's actually in really good shape. I'm pretty happy about it, just because it's my first one. Like, there's nothing quite like the feeling of when you buy a plant and you start having success with it. You're like, oh wow, now I'm ready to, I don't know, start an orchard or something. Oh, hang on, let me see what you guys are talking about here. Oh yeah. If I had to guess, she probably has it in a 12-inch pot, but it could be bigger. It's kind of fun doing plant show and tell though. And actually, oh, okay. Yeah, once you get past 12 inch, once you get past 12 inches, especially if it's not plastic, those pots start to get really heavy. My signal on my laptop looked like it lagged a little bit. If I have any signal problems, let me know so that I can try to fix it. But I think we're good. Actually, so um, do you see the weirdly? I haven't. So Wes made that, and he didn't tell me how to get into it yet because I have Discord on my computer, and he didn't give me the thing yet, so I haven't been on there. But as soon as he gives it to me, I will look at it. Bifurcated avocado. Let's start with what bifurcated means, says the English major. Yeah. Yeah, the thorns are a pain, literally. And that's another reason I don't really like Norfolk Island pines because, like, the center trunk of a Norfolk Island pine is it's all needles and it's, yeah, horrible. It's just kind of ironic because the actual, other parts of it are so soft, but really, a Y shape. I always wondered, it is interesting how plants do that. Like how sometimes they will just somehow branch. I don't know. Hmm. I mean, I guess it makes sense because they're trying to create something to absorb a lot of light. But let me actually move this bottle palm out of the way. I don't know. I guess you guys probably can't see it, but let me show you. So my Livistonia is something else. Like you can kind of see how it's just growing like wide, and I don't know if I really like that. I don't know. Like I was hoping maybe eventually it would get like a little taller, but it only seems to want to grow out. Like it's like a bush, like a palm bush. I guess it's okay. I put it on the stand so that the leaves were kind of up out of the way, but I don't know. We'll see how it does over the winter time, whether or not I decide to keep it or not. Yeah, I don't hate the way it looks. It's just it's impractical because wide plants take up so much more like real estate, like floor space. That's one reason I don't own like a thaumatophyllum, because thaumatophyllums get so flipping wide. Fibrous main stem, yeah. Yeah, exactly. Like, but I think I put it behind my couch, so basically, like half of it is just overlapping with stuff that, doesn't matter, because otherwise it spills out into the walkway and stuff. I don't know. I don't know. It's like my living room isn't laid out right for wide plants, but stuff like this. This is the Howia palm or the Kintia or whatever. Um, it's staying a little more compact, I guess. Like it's still wide-ish, but I don't know. I don't know. It's okay. It's not a bad thing, because I also have this Ficus Ali, which I'll drag into the picture, and it's getting really big too. Like it looks like a tree. Here. So you can see that this has gotten very full and bushy, and I only paid like $45 for that. Now, of course, it's grown since I got it in the spring, but it was already a pretty full tree, and $45, not bad for Ficus Ali, because they tend to be a little, I don't know, a little more expensive for whatever reason. And if you guys don't know the difference, Ficus Ali is very similar to like Ficus benjamina, except the leaves are very long. I think I've got, oh, here's one that it decided to drop, but they're just really lanceolate, elongated leaves. And I don't know, that's why I got that, but. Very reminiscent of like the big Ficus benjamina that my mom had. That was huge. It was bigger than that. So yeah, that's my little mom project, I guess. Yeah, I'm just gonna start talking to that palm, and I'm gonna be like, "Go ahead, get wider. I don't mind." And then it's gonna be like, you know what? Maybe I don't want to get wide. Forget you. Don't start this leaf dropping crap. Actually, we didn't really talk too much recently about, because everybody's kind of bringing their plants in now. Some plants really need like an acclimation period where maybe you like bring it in for a day and then put it back out and bring it in, like so that they can kind of adjust. Ficus isn't really one you want to do that with, because ficuses don't like to be, you know, moved around that much. So I just brought this one straight in, and it's fine. Like my house isn't so radically different right now that it was like shocking. and it hasn't really dropped any leaves. I mean, this one it dropped because I think it was just sick of it, but yeah. Like I've heard stories of people bringing in like a Ficus benjamina and it just sheds, or a triangularis. Oh, triangularis is awful. Who was saying that they love triangularis the other day? Exactly. I'm the same way. Sink or swim, baby. Like it's a plant. It should be able to adapt. Uh, hey Ben, how's it going? Any tips on growing snake plant? Mine has barely grown in 5 years. Yeah, Ben, they grow really slowly. The snake plant I had, it also depends on how big it is. Like the bigger they get, they don't grow as fast. The one I had was about 2 or 3 feet tall, and it would put out maybe one new leaf a year. It was really slow. And really, that I'm not saying the slow growth is part of the appeal, but a lot of people like snake plants because they're like the easiest plants to take care of. I would probably put money on that. And they're very structural, so you could put it in a corner and it just looks really good, and it maintains that same appearance, that consistency for a long period, as opposed to, for example, my ficus here, which just grows a little quicker in all directions, and you have to prune it and kind of maintain it. I don't know, but it's whatever your preference is. But I'm sure your snake plant is fine. It's just they just don't grow very fast. If you do want it to grow faster, make sure you're giving it plenty of light, and just don't overwater it. Yeah, Dragonite, that's the thing. I feel like they have a terminal growth. Like indoors, they reach a point, well, I mean, outdoors too, but they reach a point where they're like, you know what, I think I'm done growing. Like, I don't really need to put anything else out. Um, like my aspidistra, which you probably can't see it. Where is it? It's on the floor next to the pillar. You can't see it. Um, the leaves are not going to get any taller. Like my aspidistra is as tall as it's ever going to get. Now it does keep putting off extra leaves around the sides, and eventually I'll probably have to repot it, but they won't get any taller. I mean, leaf year, I like slow growing plants to a point. Like like Ben, for example, how he's talking about a snake plant, I would want to see more progress than that. But I had a Raven ZZ once that I had for almost a year, and it never put off any new growth at all. And I eventually just got rid of it. I'm like, this thing's boring. Like, what is it doing? It's had like one new leaf in several years. Yeah. How big is it? Do you know how big like the pot is that you have it in, your snake plant? Or maybe how tall the leaves are? Because like I said, a bigger plant's not going to grow as much. I'm vibing to this jazz music. I'm going to refresh my connection here just a sec. There we go. Yeah, like Dragonite said, it's, the light issue is going to be more than anything else. To the point where my dad had snake plants, like potted snake plants in Arizona where he lived, and he would have them outside and they would flower all the time. Now, getting a snake plant to flower indoors, it's not impossible, but it's improbable. Like they have to have a ton of light to flower. Like most plants. Most plants need a lot of light to flower. There's exceptions, of course, but most of them do. Pot is probably 1 foot by 1 foot. That's pretty big, really. Like 12 inches is a pretty big pot. Like that's usually, like 12 inches to me is an average size, an average maximum size for a plant. Like a lot of plants don't need pots that are bigger than that. Yeah, there's no shortage of light in Arizona. Absolutely. The problem you run into there, I've never been, but the problem you run into is it's so dry, so you have to can't really have ferns outside in Arizona. And I just remembered you'd mentioned earlier about Ficus lyrata being notorious. Like I I've had Ficus lyrata and it's doing great, and then out of nowhere it'll just start dropping leaves for no reason. I mean, I'm sure there's a reason, but it is rather finicky. Not like a triangularis, but it's still. No problem, Ben. That's what we're here for. What other plants do you have? Do you have other plants besides the snake plant? Also, speaking of Dracaena, I saw a really pretty, it was in a 12-inch pot, a really pretty Dracaena. It was the one that has the narrow lanceolate leaves and it has like the lime green margins. I didn't want it for myself, but I haven't seen one that size before. So I don't know. I thought it was pretty, but a good price too, like 20 bucks. I think I think 20 bucks for a plant that's in a 12-inch pot is a pretty good deal. Oh my gosh. I just watched that movie recently, Little Shop of Horrors. The music was good. The movie itself, I was not impressed by, but I don't know. I also watched the alternate ending, I think, which I won't spoil it for anybody, but like I was just kind of like, what? I had Raphidophora for a while. The one that I had in my Raphidophora video, it did grow quite a bit, but I noticed that it tended to get leggy, and if you didn't if you didn't keep it properly watered, the leaves had a tendency to start to get brown on the edges. I don't know. I wasn't impressed with it, but I do like saying Raphidophora. It's a lot of fun. Um, Well, Ben, they do have a couple of different plant apps you could scan it with, but they're not always super accurate. Um, with house plants, it would probably be okay, but I've tried to use it on plants in the wild, and it's not always, like sometimes it'll say a Dieffenbachia is a peace lily or something like that. I don't know. Um, but we do allegedly have a Discord channel where we can post pictures and stuff, but future me problems. That's funny. I don't even want to talk about English ivy. I'm so frustrated with Hedera. Like, we will talk about it. Put a pin in that. Yeah, yeah. Thematophyllum is another fun one. Thematophyllum, Raphidophora, um, Alternanthera is probably still my favorite. Um, what was another one? Oscularia, which is what they renamed the Lampranthus succulent. They call it Oscularia. That's kind of a cool one. Um, what's another one? There's another cool one out there. But then you have the ones that sound like an illness. What was the one that we agreed sounded like some sort of sickness? I don't know. I think there's been a couple. I think Ravinia is a cool name too, actually. Oh yeah, Streptocarpus. That was one of them. That was one of those where we're like, really? Why is it called that? Oh, I came home and I've just got a bad case of Streptocarpus. Maybe we could make a character like, oh, look, there's that plant witch. It's Ravinia tetrasperma. Ooh. Yeah, and like St. Paulia, I don't know if it's still a genus technically, or did it just go completely away? Yeah, Ben, actually, I've considered doing a video like that. I have to find the right place. Um, I've made some shorts with me going and finding like specific trees that I think are kind of interesting. I don't know if you've happened to see any of those yet. I think over the summer we went and we saw a ginkgo tree. We saw what was the catalpa, and we did the oh my gosh, what else did we do? Osage orange. We did Osage orange recently. I don't know if I did magnolia or not because I couldn't find a flower. Or maybe I did do it. Well, whatever. But yeah, I like going out and taking you guys out in nature. I know primarily we talk about houseplants, but you know, I think people who are interested in houseplants have like an innate interest in nature as a whole. So if I can take you guys places and show you some new things, I think that's fun. That's why we've been doing the fruit thing recently, because I mean, fruit, of course, come from plants, and so we've kind of been having me try exotic fruit that I've never had before. And that's been hit or miss. If I'm being honest, it hasn't been always the most pleasant experience, but this should be good. I'm actually gonna get a knife here in a minute, and we'll slice into this. Yes, um, Bane's Botanicals in the Outback, but not really the Outback because I'm not flying to Australia. Oh no, no, you're good, Ben. No, my channel my channel isn't super organized. I just come up with stuff and we just do it, right? We just sort of collaborate. I have a core group of people that are pretty consistent with keeping in touch with me, which I'm so grateful for. I love you guys so much, and two of them are here tonight. And so sometimes if we get an idea together, we do it. Why not? Uh, but like can I speak tonight? Initially, when I started the channel, I wanted there to be like a good library of like plant videos that people could come reference if they needed like advice about caring for some of them. So we did a series of like 110 videos or something, with basically every major houseplant genera, or yeah, that you could think of. Houseplant genus? Whatever. But now that we've finished that, we've been kind of going off road and just doing some random stuff, and it's been fun. So I'm glad that you're here. Welcome aboard. Yeah, Dragonite, it was Magnolia. Now that I think about it, because there's one in the park, the big park that's here, and it's not very healthy. But I think when I took that video, it had one flower on it. But if you live someplace, even places like Tennessee that are a little further south, that stay a little hotter, you'll see magnolia trees a lot more, and they get really big too. It's actually really pretty because in the summer when they're flowering, you'll see this big tree that's just covered with huge white flowers. But yeah. I don't know if a magnolia is technically a basal angiosperm, which basically just means it was one of the first flowering plants because the flowers are so big and general, like they didn't have a specific pollinator. So, you know, they think that that may have been one of the earlier flowering plants. Same with water lilies. I think water lilies are a basal angiosperm that just takes anything. Like anything that wants to come sit on the flower, it's like, okay,
Right.
I'm open for business.
Absolutely,
Yeah, leaf. Yeah, you probably remember the ginkgo tree because I climbed up in it. I like climbing trees. I don't know why. That's fun for me, but and that ginkgo tree in the park is really pretty. It's got like a really nice shape to it, and it was easy to climb. So
Okay.
you just got to be careful because the squirrels actually really like the seeds, and every now and then there'd be like, seeds dropping near me from squirrels just going up there and eating them. Because that tree is actually female, so it has the seeds and everything. I wonder if it stinks right now. I wonder if enough of the seeds have fallen that it'll smell bad. Well, we're about halfway through our live stream, so let me get a knife and a cutting board, and we're going to slice into this Korean pear and hope for the best. If it's anything like freeze-dried durian, I'm done. Give me 1 minute. Let me get myself organized here. Cutting board, soda in case it doesn't taste good. Oh, there we go. I don't know if you guys ever drink Jones soda. It's pretty good. I'm not endorsing them. I'm just saying. Okay. If I have any I'm gonna use air quotes here, older followers, I actually have to take a pill for acid reflux every other day, so that's fun. Fun part about getting older. But it's okay. Okay. So I think what we're gonna do is we're just gonna cut this in half first, and we're gonna get a look at the inside, and then we'll kind of wedge it out. I need an apple wedger is what I need. Okay. So inside, it looks like an apple. Very similar, seeds in the middle, still a similar shape. Similar smell too. It does smell very much like an apple. When I look at it, it looks like it's going to have the same texture of a pear. And apples and pears have a similar texture, which somebody would have to, like, if Sylv was here, he could probably tell me, like, the thing that gives those fruits their texture on the inside, I think it's like sclerenchyma or parenchyma cells. There's a certain type of cell that gives it that really gritty texture. And things like apples and pears just have a high concentration of those. So we're going to go ahead and wedge this out a little bit. Here comes Wes. I might have him try some too. Do you want to try this? Okay. Here we have a beautiful little wedge of Korean pear, and we're gonna give this a try. So it tastes like an apple here. Okay, I'm gonna see Wes's reaction. Good, huh?
Yeah.
So it tastes like an apple, but you know how when you bite into an apple, it's like a crisp sound. It's like a crunchy, like you actually have to like bite into it. This is surprisingly soft. Like when I bit into it, it gave like really easily.
In a minute.
Where are you going?
Walmart.
Okay, well get me something.
Okay. Right. Yeah.
That's actually really good. Um, I mean, you know, some apple flavors are kind of like neutral, like they don't have a ton of flavor. Um, yeah, recommend. Definitely. If you find one, you should try it because it's good. The interior part, when I was a little closer to the center, had a little bit more of that pear texture as far as like the kind of grittiness of the pulp. But oop, if I don't drop it. Mm, wow, that's crazy. That is actually really good. Um, yes. Yes, it makes up for the last time that we tried freeze-dried durian, which was horrible. I wish that I could have made you guys try that because it was awful. Oh, that would actually be really good. Yeah, having that with honey, that would be a perfect pairing. Um, it is already pretty sweet, but it's not overly sweet. So I think having the honey with it would give it a little bit of an edge. Um, I don't think I have any honey because Wes always buys hot honey, you know. But yeah, one more bite. And actually, it almost has a little bit of a honey flavor to it. Like now that you mentioned honey, maybe my brain is just associating it with that now, but no, it's really good. Now, the biggest question, Dragonite is on the edge of his seat. Am I going to plant the seeds? Yes. I will plant these seeds and I'll try to get them to germinate. Maybe I can germinate a little Korean pear tree. Might have to go on an intermission to. Oh, yes. Yeah. So since we're, talking about fruit, do you guys have a favorite? Like, do you guys have a favorite fruit that's like your go-to? While you guys are telling me about your favorite fruit, Merlin, my cat, my youngest cat, is here. And he's a little skittish. He's super friendly at times, but I'm gonna see if I can grab him so that I can show you guys. I don't know if I've shown you guys Merlin before. Hi, Merlin. Hi, Merlin. Oh, I got you. I got you, little boy. Oh. Oh, yes. Hi, Merlin. Hi, boy. Oh, he's a good boy. Yes. Hi. Okay. Here, I know. What? Huh? What? Leaf, I hope this makes up for the cockroach. Okay, get down. Watermelon's good. Watermelon is one of those that's like impractical in the sense that like when you want it fresh, you have to buy a watermelon and pop it open and yeah. Okay, Leaf, I've never had a sun-ripened raspberry. I do like raspberries. I don't like the seed part of it. You guys know I'm weird about texture, but like, I love the flavor of raspberries. It's really good. If I had to pick one, I already know what it is. Like, I didn't even have to think about it. I probably eat bananas more than anything else, but my favorite tasting fruit is pineapple, hands down. I love pineapple. Um, Obviously, it's best when it's fresh rather than canned. Um, it's just a hassle to, core it and then you have a lot left over. You have to save it and blah, blah, blah. But like, it's so good. Yeah, he's really fluffy. He hates being brushed, which is unfortunate because being such a long-haired cat, he needs it. I'm working with him, but my two girl cats, which you guys have seen, they're also long hair and they love being brushed. They are princesses. They love to be groomed, so that's good. That would be tough, Dragonite. A pineapple crown? That would be tough to get that to work. Oh, I forgot to grab that new plant. I'll grab it here in a minute. I'm gonna cut off one more little wedge of this. So good. Actually, it's really good. When you guys try something, I think it helps if you close your eyes because it helps your other sense, like your sensory focuses more on your taste, like when you're not also using your visuals. But for me, I feel like I'm able to focus more on flavor if I close my eyes. What else? I'm trying to think if there's anything. Let me eat this last little piece and then I'm gonna get that plant, which I don't know if you guys will be impressed by it or not, but I haven't repotted it yet, so it's still in like the regular pot, but probably just gonna stick it in terracotta because why not? Sounds like something I would do. I do need to make sure to harvest these seeds. Yeah, smell and taste are tied together. Like there's just, I don't know why. I know there's a reason, but yeah. That's why sometimes, it's a little off-putting to, to eat something that doesn't smell very good. I mean, it can still taste really good. Like sharp cheese doesn't smell very good, but oh, it's so, so yummy. You're right, I would just have to eat another one. Let me grab that plant. So I just picked up this little cryptanthus. This is a absolute zero. And for anybody that may not know, I guess there's not very many people here, but cryptanthus is just a genus within the bromeliad family. And this year I kind of got into bromeliads just a little bit. I only bought a couple, but the cryptanthus I had before was brown and it actually looked dead. Like it didn't look very, very nice. And Christian was upset when I got rid of it, but yeah, I saw this one and I thought it would be better. And actually, it doesn't have very extensive roots, of course. I don't even know why they had it in a pot like this, but you know, bromeliads, I don't know if all bromeliads are, but I know a portion of them are epiphytes. So they, of course, are growing on something else. And they don't need extensive root systems like a tree. So that's probably why it's like that. But the other one I have is my Vrisea, Vrisea, I think is how it's spelled, Vrisea. And it's doing pretty well. I mean, I'm looking at it right now. It's got some nice color on it. You know what? I'll just grab it. If a bromeliad and a sansevieria had a baby, yeah, that's kind of what it is. And this is that Vrisea. I like the shape of this one compared to like other bromeliads, and I love like the lines, the way that the leaves have those lining patterns in them. I just think that's really cool. And once I saw it online, of course, in a brown pot, it looks a little bit like a pineapple, but it's okay. Which is also a bromeliad, but yeah, I don't know. It's pretty cool. It's doing pretty well. I haven't had to cut any leaves off of it, and I feel like it's growing pretty well. Doesn't need to be watered super often necessarily, so I'm gonna put you on the ground. Oh. Oh yeah, and actually, I was at the greenhouse. What is today? Tuesday, Monday, on Sunday. I was at the greenhouse Sunday, and I should have done a short there, but instead I did one at Lowe's because by the time I walked out, Wes was like, "Did you make a short?" And I'm like, "No," because I didn't think about it. So there was a lot of sansevierias in there, dracaenas, and like there was one that was kind of narrow leafed and it was in a big bunch and it had beautiful like white and silver kind of patterns on it, like stripes. And I almost bought it, especially because it was only 20 bucks. But I'm like, I don't need to be buying more plants. I don't even know how this cryptanthus snuck in, but yeah. And I like snake plants. I don't have any right now. My issue with some snake plants is that they reach a point where they get so big they start getting kind of floppy, and like, you know, they have this tendency that some of the leaves just want to not stay upright anymore. But yeah. Yes, some of the bromeliads are really sharp. This Versailles is not sharp at all. It doesn't have like the spiky edged leaves or anything like that. But the ones at work, some of them do. Of course, it doesn't matter now because we don't have any plants at work. But yeah, I remember moving them and getting cut. I'm like, damn, who wants these things? But yeah. Yeah, Dragon, I know. I am not. The thing is, like, you guys can see the plants I have fill the space nicely. I don't have enough window space in the rest of the house to have plants anywhere else. So all my plants are actually in the living room. Just because the way the house sits, I don't have any south-facing windows, and the other ones are kind of obscured by trees and things, so it just doesn't work. I mean, I guess I use grow lights for a lot of my plants, so in theory, I could put racks wherever I want, but I don't know. It just doesn't. I'd rather just have this one space. I can come down here, relax, listen to music, watch TV, play the piano. Like, I don't know. It's nice. I realized that I didn't need to have like 100 and how I think at my maximum I had almost 120. So it was crazy. It was just way too much to water. It was too much maintenance. I love plants, obviously, but it was just to the point where I couldn't maintain it anymore. Well, I mean, I could. I didn't want to.
Um,
Plant math, yeah. The famous plant math. I feel like I need to have a shirt about plant math. I saw a meme that would be maybe a good t-shirt. It was the Count from Sesame Street. And it was like, how many plants are you going to bring home? And he was holding the number 8. And then like the next picture is him holding it sideways so that it looks like the infinity sign. Like, yeah, that's, there's truth in that. My goal, my goal with one of my plants, my Strelitzia, I really want to get it to flower, which isn't going to happen this year, but I would be really impressed if I could get that to happen. It's an orange one. It's the Regine or whatever, so it should flower indoors if it gets enough light. I feel a burp coming on. Pardon me. Yes. I don't know if we talked about this last time about like I've been leaving spider webs when I see them. Not spider mites, like these are actual spiders. I've been kind of just leaving them because I think if they built a web there, they must be getting bugs. They must be getting like fungus gnats or something. So I'm just letting them kind of exist and let them do their thing. I haven't seen them in person yet, but I know they're there. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Like there's just certain plants that they reproduce so quickly, especially if you're doing cuttings. And when I had a bunch of cuttings, I didn't count those. Like I didn't count those as plant math because um, I I don't know. I just didn't count them. And my cactus planter that has all my little cacti in it, I only count that as one plant because it's only one pot that I have to water, even though there's multiple plants in it. Now, eventually, if they get big enough, I'll separate them and then I'll count them as individual plants. But fortunately, cacti grow very slowly, especially barrel cacti. Counting by rooms. Well, then I only have one plant. Well, technically two. The only plant that's not down here is my Ficus pumila, which is up by my kitchen sink because that's the only way I can remember to water it like multiple times a week so that it doesn't turn into crispiness. And I was having that reproducing problem with the Mother of Millions because they just kept creating more and more plants. And even the little baby ones I have in that pot, I think I showed you guys last week, they already have new plants on the leaves. The plant is only like this big, and on the leaves there's already baby plants. It's crazy. Yeah. Yeah, and I don't have one right now, but I know what you're talking about, and they just those burrow tail they just prop so easily. Do I ran into the exact same poem? Yeah. Problem. Air quotes. Problem. I basically just, what I've been doing with them is I keep them until they get big to the point where they start to become unstable and like flop over, and then I just give them to somebody. And I keep like a few of the little babies and I put them in a pot and they grow again. I think I have two different species. One of them is striped and the other one is just like the regular mother of millions. Oh, you know what? I'll just grab it. I gotta put my bromeliad back anyway. The only problem with where I have my table at right now is that I feel like I need just a little bit more light. But you guys can still probably see. Here's all of my mother of millions. And the one that is right here, this is the striped one. And it's interesting because the leaves on the striped one don't get as big. And it seems to get taller faster than the regular one that has the big kind of more triangular leaves. They just get really wide. I just can't believe there's already so many baby plants on this thing. It's just kind of crazy, but just making sure there weren't like roots coming out the bottom of it already. Drink and Stitch, welcome. Leaf sent you. Good to see you. You guys must be friends. Yeah, especially if you have a big one, like, and it starts to just drop babies into other plant pots. It's just like a weed. Teal. Well, it's good to meet you, Teal. See, the thing is, Dragonite, that if I get down, I think my goal number right now is 30. If I could get down to 30 plants, I would consider myself a champion. Just because I feel like those 30 plants would be like characters on the channel. You know what I mean? Like, oh, there's his dark form Syndapsis. Actually, everybody knows that plant. Most people who follow me know that plant for some reason. But yes, it was a mother of thousands. I did not put it back yet. It's actually just right here. Well, multiple mother of thousands. I think at this point there's actually 5 plants in there because there's a baby one in there too. Oof. How many plants? Oh, yeah, you said you had counted, but yeah. It's funny when you start counting how quickly that number adds up. And you don't expect it, but it's there.
Right, right. Which makes way more sense.
No, they're never singular. There's never just one. There's always many. Oh yeah, you're right. She only has 3.
Right.
What's in that bag?
Cookies.
Yeah, I know. I already saw them.
Right. Right.
Wes snuck home a bag of cookies. Like, I'm not gonna see those. That's like my one. That's like my one food vice as far as like if there's cookies in this house, I'm going to eat them. Like they won't last longer than like 3 days. I'll eat them, all of them. So, but yeah. Oh my gosh, Leaf here. Do you really have that many though? Like, is it really like 300? What are you doing here? You need to be watering. They're always propagating. Like, it's crazy. At some point, when I let one of them get big again, what I should do is just stake it up because they just get so top heavy. But I feel like if I stake it up, I'd be interested to see, especially the pointy leaf one, like I'd like to see how tall it gets. I think the biggest I ever let one of them get was about like this, maybe. And it just kept wanting to tip over. I'm like, you know what? I'm getting rid of this. Yeah. Yeah, and like I said, you almost have to have a set of criteria for yourself. Like, what am I going to count as a plant? For example, I have my little aquatic container that has some aquatic plants in it. I don't count that as a plant. I mean, they are plants, but you know what else I haven't gotten to flower recently? My Hoya. It flowered one time. Yeah, no, I wouldn't count that. All those jade leaves, I wouldn't count that. I feel like the plant has to be, I don't know, established somehow. It has to be bigger than like, you know, a certain size. Otherwise, it's just a cutting, right? Not technically a plant. Even that tricolor that we're rescuing or salvaging, I don't count that. Um, which actually is doing pretty well. That's a really pretty leaf right there, this one. And it actually popped up another really pretty leaf right there. So it's doing pretty well. If I can just keep it watered, it'll do great. Um, yeah. It's amazing that it's still going. Yeah, it'd be a lot prettier if it was bigger, but it's okay. Another leaf. I'm trying to think of the plants that I didn't show you guys last time. Like we looked at a few of them last time, but I'm trying to think of what else that has like made some progress since the last time you saw it. There's a specific ficus. I don't remember the species name. It starts with a C. The one that I have has gotten pretty big. Let me grab that one, and I'm gonna move these big ones out of the way now that I've shown them off. Yeah. Fortunately, I don't have a ton of leaf litter. I don't run into that a whole lot, but I do run into it enough. And Dragonite, did you see how that palm got right in the way? Like I had to like push through the jungle to get by it. But this is that ficus, and like I said, I don't really remember the species name. It does have very long leaves. They kind of look like the leaves of a Ficus elastica, only elongated. So kind of a unique plant in that sense. But it's probably put off, I think when I got it, it was about right here, about where this pole ends that it's staked up on. And it's done pretty well. It's been growing. Ooh, it's been growing pretty steadily. Need to dust my leaves though. I went to move my hand up and I hit the cutting board that I have sitting here. Like, whoops. Yeah. I showed Wes like this palm actually had I don't know if you guys were here when I said that, like it had mealy bugs on one of the leaves. I'm like, frick man, like I didn't even know mealy bugs liked palms. I think it's good now though. I wiped them off. It better be okay because that was an expensive palm. That palm was like $80, but I don't know why Kentia palms are so expensive. They do come from that one little island in the middle of nowhere, but yeah. It's not like they ship them from there, right? I mean, they've got to be growing other places. I mean, palms in general usually aren't that cheap because they're such slow growers. Yeah, well, this one is Lord Howe Island, Howe, and that's why the genus is called Howea because, or whatever, Hawea, however you want to say it, because it's kind of named after him. And they're only on that one little island, kind of. I think it's east of Australia, a few hundred kilometers. And actually, it's also very near the island where Norfolk Island pines grow, which those are only there as well. Um, oh, well, Norfolk Island, duh. Stupid, man. What the heck? Do you guys have any palms? Like, just between the three of you? Like, I know a lot of people actually don't like palms. Um, I'm a fan, but that's just me. I can see why people don't like palms because there are certain ones that are very difficult to take care of. And I think that I blame Ravinia because I feel like everybody's first palm was a Majesty palm, and that's just not a good one to have. Parlo palm. Okay. Parlo palm is good. Camadoria. Hey Tom, glad that you're here. Ravinia and a bunch of dates. Well, yeah, of course you have a bunch of dates. Phoenix, like the date palm, I mean, I'm sure you've actually seen one, but like the needles in the center are so sharp. It's just needles. It's a palm of needles. It's kind of crazy. Yeah, Tom. Like there's really about, oh, probably about 10 different genera of palms, and I'd say half of those don't really make very good houseplants. So it's just, you've got like a 50-50 chance, I guess, of getting a good one. Yeah, you're gonna have those dates for a while. I've had a couple of phoenix palms, but they just don't do very well. But speaking of Camadoria, my Camadoria metallica is still doing really well. It's about ready to be watered, but yeah, I just love kind of those unique leaves that it has. Just very atypical of what you would consider the parlor palm. It's actually just been really, really forgiving as well, and I don't know. I just love the look of it. I think it's so cool. I'm kind of excited to see how big it gets. I'll grab my Rafis here or Rafis here in a second. I'm gonna go to say well, not a true poem. Oh, okay. I never had good luck with the sago plants. They're really toxic to animals too, so you have to be careful. But the cycads are really interesting just because botanically they are so different from all other houseplants. But I just never had good luck with them. I don't know. The leaf production is really slow, so I'm not impressed by them. The palm in the back, if you're talking about this one, this is Livistonia. Livistonia is probably the fan palm you see the most. There is another fan palm that looks almost like a Chinese fan, like it's actually very complete, and it's called Licuala. And Licuala is not a good house plant. I had one and it just did not do well. They need a lot of light. They need a pretty good amount of humidity for their leaves not to turn brown. So don't waste your money if you see a Licuala out in the wild. You won't see them very much though, because they're just, if you live in Florida or something, great, but yeah, they don't belong inside, unfortunately. I did do a video on Licuala. If you guys ever go back and watch any of my old videos, Licuala's on there, Livistonia's on there, all of them. Except for the bottle palm. I haven't done that one yet. I need to do that. Yeah. I really want to see all of your props, Dragonite. You need to make sure you post those. Yeah. Oh, the Rafis, right. Um, I've always wanted to try that. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, some things are just worth having, even if they won't flower, or fruit, I guess. Like my Hoya, the Obovada I have, it's supposed to flower so easily, and it only flowered once, but the leaves are so pretty, and the plant looks so interesting. I don't really care that it doesn't flower, but yeah. Well, maybe I just need to jump on the avocado bandwagon since everybody's doing avocados. Oh, see, you lost me. If they're thirsty, forget it. Oh, and this is the Rafis palm. Um, it it is easy to take care of, but the thing you have to be careful of is that they do require a fair amount of water. Most palms like to be soaked and then dry out, soaked and dry out. but these don't really like to dry out completely. And you'll notice on mine, it does have, well, I trimmed them kind of recently, but you'll see a lot of brown tips on these. Some of it could be a humidity problem, but most of the time it's a watering problem. Like this one right here has some brown tips on it. I don't know if you guys can kind of tell, but you know, it makes me nervous watering plants frequently because I don't want to overwater them. But this is one that even when the soil feels slightly, like right now it's slightly moist still, and I would probably go ahead and water this just so that it doesn't dry out. But it's been going strong for almost 2 years, and I do love the look of these. When you look at it from overhead, like how beautiful that looks. I would say that this might be my favorite palm, just because of the look of it. I just wish that it didn't require so much extra, I guess. Let me drop this off. Let me see. What fruit in the mitten either? Oh yeah, okay. I wonder what genus the Mediterranean palm's in. I'd be interested to know. Needle palms. Okay. Yeah. I don't actually know what a needle palm is. That might be one I have to look up. There are definitely, just like with any like group of houseplants, there's always some oddball, like uncommon like genera or types of plants that maybe you don't hear about as much, but that doesn't mean they're not good plants. Maybe they're just a little more expensive or harder for the greenhouses to grow them. So, for example, like the Kintia palm, you don't see it very much because I think that they are just a little more difficult to grow like on a big scale. So that's why they're more expensive and you don't see them in like Walmart or Lowe's or anything. I'm trying to think of what else. I feel like we always end up talking about succulents, but succulents are so interesting. I keep looking over at some of my weird succulents. Leaf wants to see the bottle palm again. Okay, let me move these two things out of the way. Put this back. And we'll put this back. Okay. This is the bottle palm. It has very stiff leaves by comparison to other palms. And that's about what it looks like. Has a beautiful coloration on the bottoms of the leaves, or the stems, I guess. And the genus is Hyophorbe, I believe, or Hyophorbe. Again, not really that well known of a palm, but still one that I happened to find. Actually, my friend found it and bought it for me because it was on clearance. So I thought, why not? I'll give it a try. And this has actually been pretty successful for me. Just keeping it in front of a sunny window, making sure it doesn't dry out too hard. And yeah, it looks like one of the leaves is about ready to, well, no, it's still pretty green actually. But it's got a new big leaf coming up in the middle. You can see right here. So yeah, it is a very structural looking palm. I'm still sad because my Trachycarpus, which you guys might not know what a windmill palm is, but my Trachycarpus died. It got really dry and really hot there in September for a minute. And I thought, oh, it's fine. And it wasn't fine because it was outside and it died. So they're kind of hard to find. I'm going to struggle to replace it, but that's one that I would replace. So you're from Southern Missouri. Really? Thank you, Teal. Thank you, Tom. I don't know. Oh, what was that plant called? Oh, I'm totally blanking now. When you were talking about the ones that have needles on them. Natural home defense, exactly. Boy, that'll keep people away, won't it? See, and teal. No, not Norfolk Island. But I mean, that is one that's like that. Monkey puzzle. No, I wasn't thinking of that, but that's a good one. Bamboo palms. There's bamboo palms too. I've never had one of those. I've heard they're toxic, but I don't know that for sure. The thing I was gonna say was, oh yeah, teal. Like, I feel like people as kind of houseplant enthusiasts, you know, people who have a lot of houseplants, there's always that category that they never really venture into. For me, that's been, I never really got into like carnivorous plants. I I just, it's kind of an expert level, you know, of care that it requires. But a lot of people know I don't like Hoyas very much either. I have one Hoya that I love, but a lot of people collect Hoyas left and right. Like they're just in love with Hoyas, and that's great. I mean, I just don't like them as much. Or orchids. My friend that lives here, that he was on the channel with me one time, he loves orchids, really into orchids, really into collecting them. He brought me one home from a trip he took, and he's like, here you go, here's this orchid. And I'm like, why would you give this to me? You know it's not gonna survive. But it came in a really pretty cloche, so if anything, I'll use the cloche for something. Let me grab that Hoya. It's this one right here. It has gotten rather big. It is starting to drag quite a bit. But I love the big round leaves. I love the kind of the speckled pattern on them and everything. And the one time that it did flower, it was actually really impressive, just the shape of the flower. It had a sweet smell that wasn't overpowering like gardenia, but it was amazing. Hopefully it flowers again someday, but for now, I'm pretty content just with how it looks. The Yeah, then teal could definitely be like our carnivorous plant liaison. I I'm able to keep a um, not Sarracenia, Nepenthes. I can keep a Nepenthes alive. It's not necessarily going to produce more pictures in my care, but I can keep it alive. Uh, that, in my opinion, is probably the easiest one to care for. Maybe teal has a different opinion about that, but I've just noticed the other ones are really prone to either rotting because you keep them too wet, or drying out because you don't keep them wet enough. But yeah, yeah. Yeah, Tom, I like the big leaf one. That's why I have that one. The little leaf ones, I don't know. I'm just not that into it. Orchids from Kroger. I get a lot of people at Walmart that come and rescue orchids because they don't water them very well. Oh, okay. Sundews, sundews are really interesting. Like I would love to try to take care of a sundew. I just feel like I would kill it. But so basically, you try everything except pitcher plants. Because really, I mean, there's going to be other ones too, but your five main genera of carnivorous plants would be Drosera, which is the pitcher plants, or I'm sorry, the sundew plants. Dionea, which is the Venus flytraps, Pinguicula, Sarracenia, which is like the trumpet pitchers, and then Nepenthes, which is the hanging ones. Dragonite, you don't even know what self-restraint means. What are you talking about? Really? I didn't know that. I didn't know that they were able to seed so well. Leaf, I actually haven't lost that many plants this year. I feel like I'm doing better about, now that I have fewer, I'm doing better about taking care of them. So I did lose that palm, which I was really sad about. And everything else, I feel like I may have thrown out like, oh, my ivy. Oh my gosh, I'm so mad at Hedera. I had two beautiful looking Algerian ivies, which is Hedera algerinensis or whatever. And it's just, they reached a point, they were doing good, and then just in like no time, they had spider mites and they were doing bad. So I don't know, whatever. But they are, I do like them. Like if somebody gave me one as a gift, I would probably keep it just until it died. But yeah. Lithops are tough. Yeah. I saw some flowering at a greenhouse the other day. Tradescantia, yeah. I had one Tradescantia. I don't remember which one I had in the video that we did, if it was a purple one or if it was the green and white one. But I'm not a big fan of Tradescantia either. Yeah, see, Tom, I need to get a sundew plant. But Wes is like, we are not getting into carnivorous plants because they're so hard to take care of. I'm like, yes, but you have to start someplace. Yeah, yeah, it's one of those. It's the kind of plant that you can't really replicate its environment well enough to take care of it. Like, it's just not. I ran into the same problem with Philodendron gloriosum. I love Philodendron gloriosum, but it is not. You can't really stake those up. They're really supposed to like go like across, like sideways. So it's a little more difficult to care for those. I just think the leaves are so pretty, but and I never really got on the philodendron bandwagon either. I mean, I've had different ones over the years, but I always just kind of get a little bored with them. Like the self-heading ones grow way too slowly for me. It takes too long to make new leaves. And the vining ones, the only one I have right now is a regular green like philodendron heteroecium, like a heartleaf philodendron. And I've got it kind of on Well, I'll just grab it, forget it. I just got it on something like this. And I've just been kind of training it to kind of weave through these different things. And that's the only philodendron I have. Like, I mean, I like them, but I don't know. It's just another one of those specific categories that a lot of people are crazy about. But well, I will have to look into sundews and maybe do some research and try to do some experimenting myself, and then we can do a video on that one too. I need to do a video on the Hyophorba, the bottle palm, and I think there's another succulent I have to do a video on, and then if I can get a sundew and have some success with it, perfect. Thank you, thank you. This one I got at, I think, Hobby Lobby. I don't remember if they were on clearance or not, but I just initially I thought about putting an epiprimnum on there. I'm kind of sick of epiprimnum. I think epiprimnum are a little like I don't know, overused, overrated. So I think the philodendron looks a little more elegant. California Carns, is that a website like that I could maybe order one from? I mean, I don't have Yeah, but Dragon, I feel like handmade. I feel like that's your style though, like something that's like handmade by yourself. Oh, yeah, the Gloriosum is just so cool. That deep green with like the silver like venation in the center is just amazing. But again, it's just not practical, not for me. Okay, California carnivores. Perfect. I'll have to check that out. Really, most of the time I see carnivorous plants in greenhouses, they look really crappy. Like, sometimes the pitcher plants are okay, but the rest of them don't look very good. Um, yeah, and they're super endangered. Not to the point of extinction yet, but I know they're endangered because of overharvesting and habitat destruction. So not great, but yeah, like Lowe's. I mean, the Venus flytraps we get in Walmart too they always look bad. And they don't last long either. They only last about maybe a week. Yeah. Yeah, I actually have some English ivy growing under a tree right as you walk out my front door. It's not mine, it's not on my property technically, but it spills over onto my driveway. And it's so annoying because I'm like, how can this be doing so well out here? And then I bring ivy inside and it's like, you know what? I think I'm just gonna die. Yeah, and if anybody didn't know that, which is something that I think we may have talked about in our watering video a long time ago, but carnivorous plants are really sensitive to materials in water and fertilizer. So you basically never fertilize them that I know of, and the water has to be like rainwater or distilled water. Like it can't have anything in it because that's just not how they roll. Minerals, yes, thank you. English ivy's invasive on the eastern coast. That doesn't surprise me at all. I mean, Hedera helix is pretty prolific. Yeah, yep. And I have a filter on my house, like a soft water filter, and so we have a drinking water filter too, and that's what I water my plants with. Which, I don't know. I guess it sounds a little bougie, but I feel like that they benefit from that somehow. Dragonite and leaf. Can you think of a plant that I have that would be cool to show these guys that have not really seen my plants before? I'm thinking my Ripsalis is pretty cool, but oh, have I been saying it wrong this whole time? I've always said Hedera. Hedra? Is it really Hedra? You're lying. Hang on, how do you spell H-E-D? It's Hedera, right? Oh, okay. I was so because if you guys remember, a long time ago, I did a video on Adromiscus, and I was saying Andromitius, and I had somebody like call me out in the comments, and I was like, I didn't realize that there was no N in the beginning. So now sometimes I get paranoid that I'm saying stuff wrong. Whatever, it's Latin, but. And no, Dragonite, that Aeschynanthus, I gave it to my friend. I kept trying to get it to flower, and it just wasn't working for me. It was a black pagoda Aeschynanthus, and I don't know, I got sick of it. Whatever. Like, my mom always had lipstick plants, and so I guess I always wanted to have one because of that. But I had that pink passion, or whatever it was, pink passion lipstick plant. It got really long, really beautiful, and it just started dropping leaves left and right. I think that was the one that I actually had in my Aeschynanthus video, which was like, Aeschynanthus may have been the first video we ever did. First plant care video we ever did. Well, I'm glad that you guys knew the reference to what Leaf here said because I didn't. My cockroach is trying to get out. He's trying to crawl away. Oh well. Well, Tom and Teal might not know what I'm talking about, but I have pet cockroaches. I have 2 of those Madagascar hissing cockroaches. We were playing earlier. If you guys are into Syndapsis at all, I have this Syndapsis paracensis, and it's kind of an uncommon one. It doesn't look like your typical Syndapsis plant. This one I actually bought online from Costa Farms because I knew we would never get them in store, which I've still never seen them in like actual public areas. It's been okay. You guys can see I got a couple of brown edging up here, but it's doing fine. I mean, it's still in overall pretty good shape. it's just interesting because it interests me when you discover a new species of a genus that you've known pretty well for a long time. And with Syndapsis, it's always been Syndapsis pictus and Syndapsis trebuii. And then for them to come out with another one, I thought that was kind of cool. But I think it really needs to be pruned a little bit. But I don't know. It may be getting a little too much light too, actually. Those grow lights are a little bit stronger than I give them credit for. I have the cockroaches are actually in a little terrarium. I can show you the terrarium here in a second. And then you should try Syndapsis leaf year. Like Syndapsis pictus is pretty easy, and it can grow fairly quickly, like Epiprimnum. I just think they're prettier than Epiprimnum. I think that they're a little, I don't know, a little hardier, but. This is my Syndapsis pictus right now. This is the Exotica. So you can see that it has kind of that blown out silver foliage on it, and it's gotten pretty long, probably about ready to be pruned. I love the leaf shape, and I love how silver these leaves are. I think it's such a gorgeous plant. The regular Syndapsis pictus is going to be a leaf that's much smaller than this. It's going to be mostly green with like some silver spots on it, like in a pattern. But this is one that, they've come up with all kinds of different leaf patterns, but this is probably my favorite. I don't know, Leaf. I don't know, Dragonite. Like, Epiprimnum are really hardy. I've just had issues with them this year to the point where I don't really want to have one anymore. I feel like Epiprimnum palladium is really prone to mealybugs, but the Aureum is still a solid choice. But yeah, let me put this back. Ooh. Also, if you ever need a fern recommendation, I don't know. I don't think I've talked to anybody on the channel yet that's specifically into ferns, but Asplenium is a good choice. Oh yeah, let me get my. Oh. So this is the container that I keep them in. It's just like a little glass kind of terrarium. You can see one of them right in there. So. Hey, at least I didn't get him out this time. Tom wanted to see, so I had to show him. I don't think, and actually the story behind it, I think I've said it on the channel before, but the story behind it is I went to Petco and we were getting some frozen mice for the snakes, and they were in a little plastic cup and they're being sold as feeders. Well, I've always heard that they're, easy care pets, and I wanted an insect pet, so I brought them home, and it turns out that they were male and female, because one day I woke up and I looked under one of the logs and it was covered with like 30 roach babies. And they were about that big, maybe about that big. And so I ended up letting them grow a little bit bigger, and I took them to a local pet store and, gave them to them so that they could be sold as feeders. But I got rid of the female and ended up adopting another male. Um, and now they just live together, and they're really chill. They eat fish flakes and fresh food. Like sometimes I'll give them fruit. Actually, I could give them one of these, a piece of this apple, which I think I'll do right now. Boop. Yeah, sea cucumbers. Yeah, who would look at that and be like, let me just give that a try. Let me just eat that. They do. I guess the hissing can be a little intimidating. Well, I think that the thing is, Teal, I don't think that people, when they package them, I don't think they care if they're female or not just because they're being sold as feeders. But a lot of people can't tell the difference between a male and female. And the males actually have like these two protrusions above their head on their shell. That's kind of the obvious giveaway. But when they're young, you can't see those. They kind of grow on there as they get older. Um, and like obviously plants are my principal, point of discussion on this channel, but we often end up talking about animals and insects and stuff because I'm also into that. Or languages. Sometimes we talk about languages. I don't know if I can find the little one. I haven't seen him for a minute, and I know he's in there. Oh, there he is. The little one. He's not as big. He's not even as long as my finger. So, but no, he's chill. They don't really do much. Okay, I'm gonna put you back in there. There we go. Yes, I guess in retrospect, not as long as my finger is still pretty big for a cockroach. Pretty big for a lot of insects, actually. uh, Not the can of Raid. No problem, Tom. Well, that's cool, Teal. I can't tell. I haven't done enough research about like mantids and butterflies to tell the difference, but usually, like when we go out, like to the park or we go for a walk or something, I'm looking at the plants and I'm looking at the insects, and I'll start posting them places, but like I have many pictures of me just holding random insects. I think the last thing I held outside was. Oh, it wasn't a jumping spider. What was it? Oh, it was a really big katydid. And if you guys don't know what a katydid is, it's very similar to a grasshopper, and they're green, but you can just tell that they're different. Like when you see them next to each other, you're like, oh yeah. Like a katydid looks much more like a leaf. They're very good camouflage. Katydids are also the things you hear at night sometimes, not just crickets, but like you'll hear katydids as well during the summer. And yeah, they're really cool. Y- yes. Yes to all of those things. They do look kind of bizarre. Uh, and they are bad for plants, as most insects are that don't eat like other things, that don't eat like meat or whatever. They usually are kind of bad for plants, especially when they're in great numbers. Even something like cicadas eat a lot of plants, but they're not super destructive like locusts. Like locusts are really bad, but I guess Michigan is probably slightly too cold. I would imagine being so far north, maybe they don't like it being that cold. Here, I'm in the central US, like right in the middle, and like the katydids are still out, like making calls. Not as many. It's gotten very quiet now that it's October, but yeah. Also, a millipede is my next pet, I think. If I could find one of those giant millipedes, oh yeah, I'd be all about that. Fireflies are interesting because they're only around for such a short time. Like, they're really only around for about a month, maybe a month and a half, and then their life cycle's done. Millipedes are cute. And if you guys don't know the difference between a millipede and a centipede, millipedes look like a big, long, roly-poly bug, like, you know, the ones you would find under a rock. And they don't bite, they're non-venomous, and their leg pairs, like on each segment, their legs are in twos. Whereas a centipede, each segment only has like one leg on each side. I guess it'd be fours. But yeah. So like if you have a segment, like a centipede's only gonna have one leg on this side, millipede's gonna have two. Centipedes are dangerous. Centipedes are the ones, all species of centipedes are venomous, and they're really aggressive. They say that if you see a centipede in your house, like a little house centipede, you should leave it because they're really good at like hunting down pests and things. But I don't know. I've never seen one in here, but I'm sure they're here someplace. The biggest pest, you know, that I get here would be brown recluse spiders. So we have to put down like sticky traps and stuff along the baseboards because brown recluse spiders are wandering spiders and they tend to hug the wall as they're, you know, scooting around looking for a mate or food or whatever, and they get caught in the sticky traps, thankfully. Fireflies are magical. That's like a really important part of summer for me, is getting to go out into a big open field and just see this sea of fireflies. It's just such a, I don't know, such a magical and like nostalgic thing. Really, I don't think I've ever smelled one, a millipede. Calvin and Hobbes. Do one of them get bitten? Yeah, centipedes are scary, Tom. They're not, no. I actually have, in some of my plants, the ones I keep outside sometimes, there are little millipedes, and I can tell they're millipedes by the shape and how they move, but they're really cute, just little tiny little guys. They're good decomposers. Yeah, Teal, the house centipedes, they are good. They it's not like they're up in your business. Like most of the time they are just doing their thing. So it's just like, well, whatever. Like they just let it do its thing. That's why I keep the spiders on my plants. Like if I see a spider and I know it's probably catching like fungus gnats, forget it. Like just leave it there. Ew, sea leaf, yeah, it scares me. I really don't want to get bitten by one. Dragonite, that's absolutely true. They, they, yeah, centipede movement is scary. Millipedes are nice and slow. You know, they're just kind of creeping along like a pretty little something, and centipedes are like they move way too fast. I was at work once and I was having to move. It was when I worked in lawn and garden, and I was moving bags of soil onto another pallet so that I could like condense the two pallets together. And I lifted up one of the bottom bags of soil, and there was a red centipede under it, probably about that long. And I said, I'm done. I said, I'm not doing this anymore. So I, I went inside for the day. I'm like, we can deal with it tomorrow. We're done. Yeah. Yeah, if I find a spider in the house and it's not in a web and it's not a brown recluse, I'll usually pick it up. Well, not pick it up with my hands, but I'll scoop it up and put it outside. But yeah, not dealing with brown recluses. And jumping spiders, I don't know why anybody's scared of a jumping spider. They are adorable. Jumping spiders are the absolute cutest thing. And they're not aggressive. You can pick them up. I mean, they can still bite you technically, but like it's not, unless you're allergic to it, it's not going to really hurt that bad. And they're really intelligent. Like they're kind of frighteningly intelligent creatures. I think jumping spiders make up about 10% of all arachnid species. Uh, yeah, I think that's correct. Yeah. Their big eyes, oh, they're just so cute. I feel like I feel like when you run into a jumping spider, you're like, "Oh, look at the little friend," and you're just kind of like, looking at it. And when you run into an actual spider, it's like a standoff where because it's already seen you. I promise, it's seen you before you saw it, and like you just sort of freeze and you're like, you just back away really slowly, like, okay. I wonder if that helped sales by you putting that in there. I've never had one jump on me. I mean, I've picked them up before and like held them and everything, but I've never had one actually. I think that's the thing that people are a little intimidated by is the fact that they jump. But I mean, that's just what they do. There was a hilarious video. I don't remember if it was a Vine, if you guys remember that, or if it was just a short video. This lady is recording a praying mantis, and it's like on a ledge or something, and it's doing its thing where it kind of like moves back and forth. And out of nowhere, this thing jumps on her, and all you see is the camera go flying out of her hand, and you hear this blood curdling screech of her screaming because this praying mantis landed on her. I'm like, chill, it's just a praying mantis. Like, unless you're another insect, like that thing's not gonna hurt you, but they're vicious hunters, man. That's crazy. I didn't really see any snakes. Of course, we don't really get snakes here because I'm in town, but yeah, they were there. I'm sure that they were there though. Yeah, Tom, they've done tests on jumping spiders, like intelligence tests, and they can do things that a lot of other creatures can't do. Um, like they can recognize like when something is inanimate, and I don't know if they did the mirror test. I think Dragonite and I were talking about that if they've done the mirror test on spiders, but I don't know if they have. Ma, 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 ma. They can fist bump. Yes, I've seen those videos. If we're talking about cute outside things, I was outside the other night and there was a possum, and I think possums are so cute. And he kind of saw me and he froze, and then you just see him go tick, 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 like he just like scampered off. Like I don't know. I think they're really cute. I had one sitting on my porch another night, and I tried to give him some graham crackers because I thought, well, he might eat these, but he wasn't having it. He was looking at me like I don't take candy from strangers. Like, okay. Salamanders? I don't think I've ever seen a salamander in the wild. That's cool, Teal. That'd be a good video to see. I wonder if he could actually hear it, if he was actually like Salamanders, somebody correct me if I'm wrong, salamanders are amphibians, right? Oh, yeah. Oh, okay, yeah. EDM. I did see a bunch. I actually have seen a lot of toads this year. We had the bullfrogs in like the summer, and then we had some toads that were kind of hanging out here and there. Um, Pretty cool. Just if you're ever, this is random, but if you're ever like want to hold one, just make sure you don't have any stuff on your hands because their skin is like semi-permeable. I mean, our skin is semi-permeable, but like theirs is really like that. So they're kind of susceptible to like chemicals and stuff. That's why a lot of species are actually endangered. Earthworms, also, somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but I think earthworms are in the phylum Annelida, like are earthworms annelids? Dragonite might know what I'm talking about. Because there's like 9 major phyla of animals, and 3 of them are worms. There's like the roundworms, the flatworms, and the is it segmented worms? I think. Oh, Dragonite, I get toads at Walmart. Like they just come like hopping up. I don't know where they're at. I guess there's a water source nearby. Maybe that's why. Annelids, okay, because the flatworms I think are like platyhelminthes, and then there's one more, the nematodes, which is oh, nematoda, right? Yeah. Also, you guys that haven't been here a whole lot, sometimes we get really nerdy and we start talking about like stuff like this, taxonomy, and you know. If your phones are probably right. Oh, that's crazy, Dragonite. How have you never found one? I, it's interesting. Maybe because you find snakes. Maybe that's why you don't find frogs, is because you find snakes instead. I've rarely found a snake out in the wild, unless I was in the woods or something. That's interesting, leaf year. I mean, earthworms are like fundamental to like plants because their droppings are so full of like nutrients for plants. Um, I've never really heard of. I mean, it makes sense that they were in your soil, but I've never heard of anybody like adding worms to their plants just because I don't think they'd survive. But garter snakes are so pretty too. The Eventually one of these days I'll get my snake out so you guys can like. I have 2 now, but my biggest one, she's longer than this table. She's probably 5 or 6 feet long, maybe 5 foot long. She's a corn snake. Oh yeah, the eggs. And Teal, I'm glad that you're enjoying it. We try to just have fun. Um, I don't actually know what other people do on their live streams, but I just like talking with you guys, showing off my plants a little bit, having a discussion about something. Like, it's just fun. I mean, I've done repotting and stuff on these before too. I've done some little gardens and just different things. whatever the mood feels like. The other, while you said eggs, Dragonite, and I was like, I immediately for some reason thought of platypus. Platypus, I don't know what the plural is, but they're monotremes, which means they're mammals that lay eggs. And like when we're talking about like evolution and taxonomy, they have no idea where that came from. They don't know, they don't really know where monotremes fit. I mean, they know they're mammals, so they are in, you know, chordata and everything, but I don't know. That's interesting. Same with like turtles and tortoises. They don't really know where that came from. Like the shells, they just, I don't know. That's interesting to me that there's still mysteries like that. You think with all of our advancements and all of the studying that has been done that we would know those things, but they still don't. They haven't found it in the fossil record, I guess. You seriously just dig up dirt? That's crazy. The dirt, I feel like that outside dirt would be so dense though for like houseplants. You'd have to like loosen it up. Well, see, that's what I thought too. Like turtles, you think would be so obvious, but I don't remember. I don't remember exactly how it goes back for reptiles, but I know that you know it's split off at that one point where you had, you know, the like the avian like dinosaurs, and you had the terrestrial dinosaurs, which all went extinct. But I don't know how turtles fit in there. Turtles are really old though. Like they go really far back in the fossil record, but they just don't know. How does something go from not having a shell to having a shell? Like it just doesn't. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. That's that other one, Echinus. That's the. I think those are the only two monotremes. If I could be wrong. Somebody correct me, but I think those are the only two. Garbage, backyard dirt. That's crazy. Oh, I don't know. Maybe I should try it. Yeah, and I feel like stuff that's more tree-like would probably be better for like backyard soil. I mean, I don't think I would put a cactus or a succulent in backyard soil because it's not going to be loose enough. It's not going to have enough aeration in it. But stuff like trees that have roots that are, you know, made to kind of go through that kind of thing, I think they'd be fine. Oh, okay. Well, that makes sense. That would make it a little more viable. Yeah, well, when you're digging through like random soil, I've dug in soil before and found like grubs and stuff. Who knows what they were, but like big fat grub worms. I was just getting ready to ask what kind of tree is it? Mm, oh yeah, of course. I always forget that the common name is dragon tree. Like I know that now that you say it, but I've just always called them Dracaena. Really? Yeah, I'm with Dragonite. What kind of Dracaena is it? Like the Dracaena, like do you know what kind of do you know what species it is, or like what type it is? Like when I think dragon tree, sometimes I think of the really narrow-leaved, colorful ones that are like pinks and reds that kind of look like pom poms. And then there's also like the Dracaena that it has leaves that look more like corn, like that kind of drapes a little bit. They're green most of the time, like really deep green. I don't know the species names of those off the top of my head, but okay, if it's pointy, then it's probably the pom pom one I'm talking about. And usually the pointy ones, it's just like a really narrow trunk and the poof on top, basically. Whatever happened to a Dragonite? It'd be cool if you still had it. My mom had a big Dracaena. She didn't buy it. The people who sold us the house that we lived in at the time like left it there, and it was probably 7 or 8 feet tall, and it was the one that had the really like green kind of drapey leaves, and it was really cool looking. I don't know whatever happened to it, but see, that's so cool that you still have like it's like pieces of it. I don't have anything left from like my mom's plant collection, just because well there were circumstances, but I ended up moving out here, and who knows what happened to those plants, you know. But that's crazy. Well, it's good that Teal. It's good that you still have both of them. I have the only Dracaena I have, if you want to call it that, is a cutting. Well, it's not even a cutting. It was a one that I bought that's supposed to be like semi-aquatic. It's not, but I had it sticking out of the top of my aquarium. And the first fish that we ever bought together, like the two of us, I had it sticking out of the top of his aquarium, and I still have it. I have to like prune it every now and then and start over, but it's still going. It's never gonna get super big because it's growing like semi-aquatically, but the fact that it's well, let's see, that fish died in like 2017, so I've had it for a while. And what I have it in, it's like a little. I mean, I guess I could just grab it. It's like a little aquarium that's designed to hold something coming out of the top like that, and then the bottom can be for aquatic plants, which we don't talk about aquatic plants a lot. I did a video on them, I guess, but um, I always forget to maintain aquatic plants, so they end up getting algae and stuff on them just because I forget about them. Yeah, and I've actually had people tell me that same thing about euphorbia, like the ones that grow really tall. They have to start cutting them. Right. Then you just start multiplying dracaenas. Why not? I think like leaf year, I think they grow into trees, but it's not like your conventional tree. Like when you think of a tree, it's not like that. I think the word to describe them would be spindly, where they're kind of like they're not really full, they're kind of like narrow. But I haven't seen any that have gotten super big. Um, hmm. Gee, I don't know. Is it Dracaena or is it? See, we're getting into pronunciation. Like Dracaena. The AE is what's throwing us off. Because typically, when C is followed by an E, it's going to make the S sound. And if it's followed by an A or an O or a U, it makes the K sound. So in this case, you think it would be Dracaena, but I've always heard it pronounced Dracaena. The AE together, I think that's Greek. Or is it OE that's Greek? Well, maybe they both are. I can't think of another word that has the AE in it like that, with a consonant before it. Let me grab that little aquarium. I'm going to put this back. Now, don't hate on the fact that the aquatic plants in here look like crap, but this is that Dracaena I was talking about. And it's just always been basically rooted in water, and it never really gets much bigger than this. Like, it just kind of stays about this size, and like it just has a little thing underneath. I guess they're still alive, but I need to put some water in it as well. I'm gonna set this off to the side. I guess the bigger question is what's with the A? Like I said, if it was CE, then I get it why it's CE. Like ceiling is CEILING. Like it makes sense. But the fact that there's an A, it just has to be like Greek or something, and that's just how they always pronounced it. Fascinating. Well, I don't know what language the word Dracaena is from, but I'm almost certain that the AE is a Greek construct. John Dracaena. That is interesting. We never really talked much about naming plants. I personally have never named my plants. I don't know why. I just try to know what like genus they are, but I know that some people like naming them. I have a friend that actually names his robot vacs, and he called one of them Clean Latifah instead of Queen Latifah. Dracaena? So then at what point did it change to the C sound, I wonder? I don't know, that's interesting, yeah. Yeah. Well, and it's always tricky too with named things, it's a little harder because it's not like they called that Dracaena back then. You know what I mean? Like they started calling it that within the last probably 100 years. So yeah, I don't know. That's tough. When it's a word that was actually used a long time ago because I get into like the origin of words and stuff. So when you have a word like two, like the number two, TWO, you can trace that back to when you pronounced that W, like, 900 years ago, and it was two, so. Right, right. Well, and then the endless debate of pothos or pathos. I've always said pothos, always, just because it's, I don't know, it just sounds right. Because it rhymes with like ethos, like it looks like that word ethos or logos or those other kind of Greek sounding words. Debating what I'm gonna have for a late night dinner. I'm feeling like cereal. We'll see. Yes, that's the one they added because you had to have one about plants. Ethos, logos, pathos, and pothos. uh, I remember studying about that in college too because when I was studying literature, you kind of had to go into those three modes and everything. Ugh, that was kind of a nightmare, but it's okay. What was that story we had to read called? It started with a G. I'm blanking because I'm a little bit tired. Gilgamesh, the Epic of Gilgamesh. Oh, read the Epic of Gilgamesh and then tell us about what actions show that Gilgamesh has, you know, ethos and, what about that had pathos? Like, oh my God. I don't know, man. I don't know. I feel like there was one more thing I was going to mention on tonight's stream. I just don't remember what it was now. I need to find I need to find another fruit for next time. I'm trying to decide where I'm going to go. I might see if I can find a specialty market that might have some like more exotic things, but we'll see. Yes, I am Central Time. And I think this is the third one we've done consistently on Tuesday at 8 Central Time. Normally we run from like 8 to 10 Central Time. I know it's almost 11 now just because, Tom and Teal were here, so we were kind of, I mean, if there's more people here, I'll stay longer. I don't care. Like, it's not a big deal. But, yeah, normally we run about 2 hours. I've been really into making shorts recently, just because it's easier. I don't have to edit it. I can be anywhere. Like, I can be on location someplace and just send you guys a video. I do need to make an actual video again. Oh my gosh, my hair. Where Wes and I edit it. I know you guys probably haven't heard my theme song in so long. So I'm probably gonna do a simple one first. Like I need to do a video on Ohio Forebay, just because we never covered that one. Oh, Leafier wants to see the cactus planter. I'll show you that before we wrap up. Of course, Tom, no big deal. It's always nice. Like I said earlier, I have like a core group of about 10 people that will pop in and out during these things. Like last week, Leaf wasn't here, but Sylv was here, Usruff was here. I thought somebody else popped in. But and then there's some people I haven't seen for a while, like Christian. If you're watching, we miss you, and Ms. Betty. I'm sure she's doing well. Let me grab that planter. So this is a little planter. I know, Dragonite. I'm gonna get a bowl of cereal after this, and I'm gonna get on Discord and have Wes show me how to do it, so that I can start doing that. And speaking of that, I also need to post pictures to Instagram. I should start doing that, right? I did this little planter on a live stream probably 3 months ago. And of course, cacti don't grow very fast. And this is just kind of it. I thought about putting some rocks in there just for the like effect. But I don't know. It's doing pretty well. I took out that one that had mealy bugs and I threw that thing away. I'm just not dealing with that. But we never figured out what these two were. I don't know if we still don't know that, but I know this is Stetsonia, the really pokey one, and I know these are Tephro-cacti right here, and this is a Noto-cactus. But the other ones, they're kind of a mystery. But that's okay. That's okay. I just like how they look. Discord is really simple-ish. Like, it's basically just like, it's kind of like a little chat app on your computer. A lot of people use it for gaming so that you can be like, you know, you can have your headphones on and be chatting to somebody through Discord. But there's also just like an actual typing chat room. And we just came up with the idea, I don't remember who came up with it, but with the idea of making a Discord for the channel so that people could post pictures of their plants. Now, you know, if eventually my channel takes off and we have like thousands of subscribers, maybe that wouldn't be as practical. But for now, since it's a lot more intimate, I don't mind having something like that so that you guys can show me your plants. Because it's always just me showing you guys stuff, right? But I want to see your stuff. Dragonite has told me so much about what he has and I've never seen any of it. But now there's a Discord. I don't know if Wes posted it in my description. If he didn't, I will make sure to put that in the description. And Discord, you just download it off the internet and it starts right up. It's really not too difficult. Yes, I want to see Miss Betty's hydro setup because you guys haven't met Miss Betty yet, but she is really into hydroponics. She grows almost all of her plants either hydroponically or semi-hydroponically, and yeah, so it's pretty cool. Let me see, cactus sounds great. I don't know if it's an astrophytum or not. It could be. I think there's only 6 species of astrophytum, so I would just need to look and see which one it is. Yeah, I do need to put rocks in it probably. I just haven't found any that I like yet. Yes, I feel like one of them does start with a G. I just don't remember what it's called. And then my email, I don't believe so. I don't believe the email that I use is like an active like email. That's it. Golf ball is serious. That's it. It's not one that I actually use. It's just an account for me to use YouTube with. So like if you sent something to it, I would never see it. But with if Discord doesn't work for some of you guys, I will definitely find another way to make that work. With the Instagram, I don't know if you guys can message my Instagram or not, but if you can, feel free to drop me like plant pictures in my Instagram. Let me know who you are, like let me know your screen name so I know who it is. But I don't know if, see, that's the thing, Dragon. I don't know if Instagram has a community feature. Yeah, that's my thing. I think it only has one-to-one messaging. But again, like if you guys send me a picture, I'll look at it. I need to figure out how to get back into it because Wes has been maintaining those kind of things, and I have a personal Instagram that I don't use, so I could log out of that and just stay logged into my plant one so that I could actually update things. Daniel Alocasia. Yeah. Yeah, see, I need somebody that could identify them. Because the thing with the plant picture apps and stuff is that it doesn't always identify them correctly. Okay. Hang on, let me drop this off. Also, I never get tired of showing you guys this just because it's so much fun. This is my little string of buttons. It's Crassula. Why do I always forget the species name? It's Crassula perforata, maybe? But I don't know. I just love this thing. I don't know why. It just keeps putting off new little growths too. Like it just never seems to stop. Probably, maybe one of my favorite succulents. I don't know. Where can I set this? I'm gonna set it over here. All of my Instagram accounts should be connected. Oh, okay. Well, then I just need to look. Yeah, it's absurd. I wonder how much life is left on my phone. It said 20% a while ago. Hopefully it's doing okay. That's okay. We're gonna wrap up soon anyway. But yeah, it's I don't know. I feel like when I have really good success with something, that makes me want to hold on to it even more. Whereas some plants I'm interested in, but I just can't keep them alive. So I just I'm like, well, I'm not gonna keep punishing myself by rebuying the same plants over and over. But yeah. Like I bought so many English ivies. It's just kind of sad, but that would make sense, Tom, just because when it first starts growing, it started out as just like, I think it was just